Good evening, Joanne Gittins here, logging on for my weekly YouTube live. And today I'm going to be interviewing my middle son, Benjamin, on his investment challenge that he did this last summer. Benjamin, are you there with us?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Ben. Thank you for joining me, your mom, here on my YouTube channel. I'm excited to pick your brain and you share authentically about how you found perhaps your first foray in serious investing. So first off, just share a little bit about yourself, how old you are, what school you go to, some of the interests you like, and so forth.
Uh, as you know, my name is Benjamin. I'm 14 years old, turning 15 in May, and I'm in my third year of secondary school. So that means I'm in ninth grade.
And what are some of the things that you like to do, Ben?
Uh, of course, I like playing video games, but I also enjoy playing basketball and doing coding, like programming.
Cool. All right. So, Ben, over the last summer, I issued you a challenge which you accepted, and it was to get a little bit more hands-on knowledge of investing. And what the challenge was is that I gave you $1,000, and I suggested a book for you to read, and I also was willing to purchase some other books, and I have the books that you asked me to purchase for you here as well. And then I just encourage you to buy some stocks over the summer. So first of all, when I shared this challenge, were you interested in it? What did you think of the challenge when I first shared it with you?
When it was first introduced to me,
Hmm.
I was actually very much interested, especially when I heard the words $1,000. It really, uh, it really caught my interest. So yeah, I guess yeah. When
Okay,
you introduced it to me, I really felt like I wanted to do it, not just because it's $1,000, but I feel like even I was still curious about what investing meant and what it was about. So I feel like if I could learn more with you, then then it'd be cool. So yes, I was interested.
got it. And then part of the parameter was I gave Benjamin access to my Wealth Simple account and put the $1,000 there for him to basically choose the stocks that he wanted to buy or sell because it was going to be throughout the entire summer. And I remember I asked you this question, Ben, and you weren't sure what to answer at first, but then you came back with an answer. And I was asking you, so when do we assess? How do I know you will have done good? When will I assess? How long will you be investing? When will I assess your performance? And what was your response?
Yeah. At first, I didn't know how investing worked. I didn't understand. I didn't understand all the dividend stuff, all the whole point, like where you're gonna get the money from. And understand when I was supposed to ask this question. You were asking things like, when can I see a difference? When can I see change? Or when can I see that the money will grow? So when I first thought about this question, I thought, well, what I should do is I should buy stocks that are cheap and hope for them to grow in value or yeah, in value and sell them and get more money to buy cheaper stocks and all that. I thought that was the point. So I was thinking, well, Ma, I think I can show you a difference in like 3 months or something like that. But after a little bit of thinking or reading the books that you provided to me, I understood that what I had to do is hold the stock for even longer and just keep letting them appreciate in value as I collect the dividend money, the dividended cash.
Yes, okay. And that moves us to, I actually asked you to read one book and then you did some research because as you said earlier, investing was completely new to you. And you asked me to purchase two other books for you, which I did. Actually, I purchased three books, I think. One of them
Yeah,
was
one
a
of them is the
digital.
ebook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But this book, which is one that I highly recommend on my channel, I've spoken about it before, was one of the ones that I really encouraged Benjamin to read. And Ben, did you finish reading this book? What did you think of this book?
No, I didn't finish it. I think I got half of it done, but they started talking about these big terms, big words I didn't understand, so I kind of got bored of it. But the start really, for some reason, when I started, I got hooked on it. I really started enjoying it for some reason. There was no story in it like all the other books I read, but for some reason, I read it and I couldn't stop.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
what was your biggest takeaway, or what were some of the key things that you learned from the book when you read it?
the main thing that I learned was, before I was talking about how I'd hold stocks for not very long and expect to sell them for more than the value that I bought them for.
Hmm.
Which is, yes, I read in the book that was one of the techniques that some successful investors use, but the book told me or taught me that the technique of the author is to hold stocks and to reinvest the dividended cash. So instead of, you know, buying and selling and buying and selling and basically always having to be active to understand or to see when prices appreciate or decrease in value, it talks about just buying a a uh, a stock that you can trust and just letting it grow, and you reinvest uh the cash that you get from dividends, and just reinvest cash per month, per week, whenever you can, and the money will appreciate.
Okay. So when you first started out, what was the first couple of shares that you bought, and what was your initial strategy, and how did it end up by the end of the summer?
Like when I before I read the book or after I read the book?
Well, just when you first started, like I know you were reading several books and you started to buy some stocks. What were some of the stocks that you bought? And do you still own all of those stocks now, or what are some of the stocks you have now?
uh I think the only ones I can remember was, I think at first I bought Amazon and TD. I think I also bought Scotiabank and I think BCE, but those are the ones that I sold like after a week or two when they grew in value.
Why did you
But
sell?
Amazon,
You sold the BCE, and which ones did you sell? Sorry. And what did you?
BCE and Scotiabank, but I
Uh,
kept TD and Amazon since they hadn't really grown in value. So I was hoping for them to go up. But after I read the book, I decided to just keep them, and I did, and I still hold them now.
So BCE and Scotiabank, when you sold them, they were at a better price than what you bought them at?
Yes, but a very small difference.
Very small. And were those, did you buy those stocks just for the appreciation then, or what drove you to buy those stocks that you first bought?
I think I bought Scotiabank because it was like it was growing in value steadily,
Hmm.
and I think BCE, I don't remember. I don't remember why I bought it. I think I just bought it out of, just doing it.
I hear you. And so right now you're saying you sold the BCE and you sold Scotiabank, but you have Amazon and TD. And are you happy with those purchases, or how did you find those two stocks that you still have performed for you?
I'm very, very happy with those two stocks. I mean, I can't say I'm very, very happy because I can't really compare my results to any other results that I've had since these are my first ever, stocks I've held on to for such a long time. But after what I'm seeing, I'm collecting a lot of cash from dividends that's being, snowballed back into more stocks that I'm buying in.
So some people may
I'm
not
very
know this
happy.
snowball terminology. So what do you mean by snowball?
Uh, Snowballing is basically when you take the money that you get from the investments, the dividends
Hmm.
that you get from investments,
Hmm.
and you just reinvest it to buy a fractional stock or just another stock of
And that
the same
of the
uh
same company, and then that
of the
also
same
increases
company.
dividends you get next time, and that's how your
Right.
snowball grows.
And it
Yeah.
will grow and grow, and yeah.
Yeah. So I have the two other books that you asked me to purchase, the two other physical books that you asked me to purchase, and I'll just show them to the audience. One was the Modern Guide to Stock Market Investing for Teens, and the second one was Stock Investing for Canadians. And I'm wondering, how did you find those books? Did you find that you referred to these books? What did you gather from those books, those other books?
The first one, stock investing for teens, that one, I feel like I flipped through it a bit. And the thing about that book is that it has questions that you're supposed to answer. So you have to read and understand, and then answer the small questions inside the book. But to be honest, I was not all that interested when I first, like, that was the first book that I read.
Hmm.
So I was not really all into that. I guess I read a bit. I read a bit at the end too, but I didn't do all that much work in that book. and I got bored of it quick.
Got it.
And the other book, it overwhelmed me. I opened it and I was just, oh, I can't read all of this. It's so much. And
Mm.
I just didn't think that I needed all this information to invest like a pro, you know?
Or it's just to get started, perhaps.
Right, right.
Yeah. How much time did you spend on your investing challenge throughout the summer? Was it like a couple hours a week, half an hour a week? Like, how much, on average, how much time do you think you spent once you were really in and doing the challenge?
Once I was really like into doing the challenge, I'd spend like actually what happened was I'd set notifications or I'd set something that would send a notification to my phone to tell me when the price of a company stock would reach a certain amount.
Okay.
So once I'd set that, I'd barely even open the Wealthsimple app because the app would tell me when the price would reach a price that I wanted it to be. So after since then, I opened the app like once a week.
So you
I
probably were a little
barely
bit
spent
of a
any time on
lazy investor then because you had those
it. Yeah.
notifications set. Yeah. So did you deploy all of your cash or how did that work? Was there a time where you had all of your cash into stocks or did you
Um.
always hold some back or and what do you have now? Do you have it all deployed or do you have some in cash?
So when I first bought it, I had some since I'd sold Scotiabank and BCE, I had some cash left, but the prices of the stocks, the prices of Amazon and TD were not all that enticing. So I kept the money until I felt the price was a good price or a price that was at least near the price I first bought it at. So I was holding like 300, 400 for a long time until recently when Amazon or I think TD, either of, any of both, they dropped in price. So I bought as much as I could. I
Okay.
literally had like 1 or 10 cents left in the cash account.
So right now you have your full $1,000 of capital deployed in the actual shares.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Mhm. And as a teenager, what was your thought about the Wealth Simple app? How did you find it to use?
I find it very simple. I find it very easy. It's not. It didn't explode me with a bunch of information like that other book did.
Mm.
I find it easy also to search for stocks. I like the lists that there are that tell me about, the the uh the best uh performing stocks, worst performing. Even though I didn't use those lists all that much, I feel like they could be useful in the future if I want to buy more stocks that are not the same companies I already own.
Mm.
But yeah, and I feel also that buying stocks is very simple. It's not anything complicated. So yeah.
So would you recommend Wealth Simple as a platform for teenagers or young adults to get started on investing? Or were there any drawbacks that you saw when you were using the platform?
Uh, no, not many drawbacks. And I haven't really tried. I can't say I tried other apps, any other investing apps, but I can say that Wealthsimple is a very good and easy one for me.
Hmm. And last but not least, to round out this interview, what are your plans going forward? You know, it's now November, so we're well past summer. So are you still monitoring your portfolio? What are your plans?
I'm planning to hold on to Amazon and TD for a very, 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 very long time. That's my plan.
Okay. And do you plan to buy, are there any other shares that you are kind of monitoring in hopes to add them to your portfolio when they hit a price that you think is reasonable?
To be honest, recently I haven't been searching for other companies or other stocks to buy, but yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't really thought about that yet. I'm really sticking to these two because I trust them and they're companies that I use in real life, so I trust their products and their work.
Cool. Okay, great. Is there any last few words or thoughts you want to share with the audience, or if you were speaking to another teenager, maybe who, like yourself, before summer had never invested or maybe never didn't really know anything about investing?
Uh, I'm just gonna say, don't waste your time doing loads of research because just think about companies that you trust in real life. Look if they are growing steadily and buy them and hold them. That's what the technique that the Lazy Investor book teaches me about. Tells you not to waste your time doing a bunch of reading all these newspapers or checking the news or looking up all that stuff online. You don't have to do all that. So yeah, that's my advice.
Buy what you know, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Ben. It was really a pleasure having you on my channel. I hope next time you turn on your camera. And I look forward to seeing how your portfolio snowballs into bigger and bigger as you hold and reinvest your dividends. And for the viewers who are watching this interview, if you have any questions or comments for my son, please just put them in the comments below and we will be sure to answer them. All right, have a great evening.